Namaste. Welcome to our channel. Today, we are entering the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, known as Jnana-Karma-Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of knowledge, action, and renunciation. Before we start, please do subscribe my channel. In this chapter, Lord Krishna reveals to Arjuna the mystery of his divine incarnations, the deep relationship between action and knowledge, and explains the path to liberation through selfless action and true wisdom. In this context, the word jnana refers to paranjana, i.e., spiritual or absolute knowledge. The word karma refers to karma yoga, the path of selfless action, and the word sannyasa refers to yoga, the path of knowledge or renunciation. Both discriminative wisdom, vivekajana, and scriptural knowledge, strajana, are also included within the term jnana. In this fourth chapter, Lord Krishna explains the mystery and essence of his divine incarnations, along with karma yoga and sannyasa yoga, and as a result, the true understanding of the Supreme Soul, Paramatma. Hence, this chapter is named Jnana-Karma-Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of knowledge, action, and renunciation. Context. Now, to elaborate further, Lord Krishna again begins the discourse by revealing the tradition of Karma Yoga in the first three verses, establishing its eternal nature and praising it. The blessed Lord said, I taught this imperishable yoga to the sun god, Vivan. He taught it to his son Manu, and Manu passed it to his son King Igi. O Arjuna, scorcher of enemies, in this way, the royal sages, Rajis, knew this yoga, passed down through tradition. But in course of time, this yoga was nearly lost on earth. You are my devotee and dear friend. Therefore, today I have spoken this ancient yoga to you, because it is a supreme secret, a subject worthy of being kept confidential. Context. From the above account, a natural question arises. Lord Krishna has appeared only recently in the Yuga, whereas the sun god, Manu, and Iku lived long ago. Then how did he teach this yoga to the sun? To resolve this doubt and to understand the true nature of the Lord's incarnation, Arjuna inquires. Arjuna said, Your birth is recent, while the birth of the sun god was in ancient times, at the beginning of creation. How am I to understand that you taught this yoga to him at that time? Context. In response, Lord Krishna reveals the mystery of his incarnations by expressing his omniscience. The blessed Lord said, O Arjuna, both you and I have passed through many births. You do not know them, but I know them all. Context. Hearing that he has taken many births, Arjuna naturally wonders, how does the Lord take birth? And how is his birth different from others? To answer this, Lord Krishna reveals the nature of his divine birth. Though I am unborn, imperishable, and the Lord of all beings, still I manifest myself by controlling my own prakti through my divine power. Yoga with Macron. Context. After hearing this, a question arises. At what times and for what reasons does the Lord incarnate? The Lord explains in the next two verses the circumstances, causes, and purposes of his incarnations. O Bharat, Arjuna, whenever righteousness declines and unrighteousness increases, at such times I manifest myself, to protect the virtuous, to destroy the wicked, and to firmly establish Gurwai. I appear in every age, Yuga. Context. After describing the divine nature, purpose, and occasion of his incarnations, Lord Krishna now explains the result of understanding this divine truth. O Arjuna, one who knows the divine nature of my birth and deeds in truth is not born again upon leaving the body, but attains me alone. Context: this result, liberation by understanding the divine nature of the Lord's birth and actions, has been true since ancient times. To emphasize this, Lord Krishna says, "In ancient times, many of my devotees who were free from attachment, fear, and anger, and who were fully absorbed in me with single-pointed devotion, became purified by this knowledge and attained my being." Context: previously, Lord Krishna said that those who understand the divine nature of his birth and actions with loving devotion attain him. Arjuna may now wonder how the Lord manifests to such devotees. The Lord answers, "O Arjuna, in whatever way devotees worship me, I respond to them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects." Context: if this is so, then why do some people worship other gods instead of the Supreme Lord? The Lord answers, "In the human world, those who desire the fruits of action worship the demigods, because success from actions is quickly attained that way." Context: in verse 9, the result of knowing the divine nature of the Lord's birth and actions was stated as attaining him. His birth's divinity was explained clearly, but his actions' divinity was not fully explained. So now, in the next two verses, Lord Krishna explains the divine nature of his actions by showing his lack of doership, bias, and desire. The fourfold division of society, Brahma, Kariya, Vaisya, and Dara, was created by me based on the division of qualities and actions. Though I am the creator of this system, know me, the imperishable supreme, as non-doer. I have no desire for the fruits of actions. Therefore, actions do not bind me. One who knows me thus in truth is also not bound by actions. Context: after explaining the divine nature of his actions and their truth, the Lord now instructs Arjuna to act in the same selfless spirit by following the examples of previous seekers. In ancient times, seekers of liberation acted with this understanding. Therefore, you Jews should perform actions as performed by the ancients. What is karma and what is akarma? Non-action. Even the wise are confused in discerning this. Therefore, I shall now explain the truth about karma so that by knowing it, you may be freed from inauspiciousness, i.e., bondage of action. Context: at this point, one may assume that karma simply means prescribed duties from the scriptures, and akarma means giving up all activities. So where is the confusion, and what is there to know? However, merely knowing this outer distinction is not enough. The true essence of action and non-action needs to be understood. To make this point clear, Lord Krishna proceeds to explain. Context: to clarify that simply knowing the outer form of action or inaction isn't sufficient. Lord Krishna further says, "He who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is the wisest among men. He is a yogi and has accomplished all action. The one whose actions are free from desire and purpose, and whose works are burned up in the fire of knowledge, he is called a wise person, beta, by the sages. He who performs action without longing for its fruits and whose sense of doership is gone. Though engaged in action, he is not bound. He who is content with whatever comes by chance, who is beyond duality, envy-free, steady in both success and failure, even when he acts, he is not bound. He whose attachments are gone, whose mind and intellect are established in knowledge, and who works only for sacrifice, his actions are wholly dissolved. God is the offering, God is the oblation, God is offered into the fire of God, and God alone is to be attained by those who see Him in every act of sacrifice. Context: to explain that spiritual progress occurs through many forms of sacrifice. Yajna. Lord Krishna now describes various types. Some yogis offer sacrifice to the gods, while others offer sacrifice in the fire of Brahman through the sacrifice of the self. Some offer hearing and the senses into the fire of restraint. Others offer sound and objects into the fire of the senses. Others offer the activities of all the senses and functions of the breath into the fire of self-control lit by knowledge. Some perform sacrifice by offering wealth, austerity, and yoga. Others through the study of scriptures and by acquiring knowledge. Some offer the outgoing breath into the incoming breath, and the incoming into the outgoing, curbing both streams, practicing primai. Others restrict food and offer breaths into breaths, thus sacrificing life breaths in life breaths. All these knowers of sacrifice are purified by sacrifice. Context: after describing many types of sacrifice and disciplines, Lord Krishna concludes the section on sacrifice. Those who partake of the nectar of sacrifice go to the eternal supreme. Even this world is not for the non-sacrificer. How then the next, O best of Kurus? Thus, all sacrifices are born of action, and this you should know. Knowing this, you will be liberated. Context: then Lord Krishna highlights the superiority of the Jnana, sacrifice of knowledge. Sacrifice through knowledge is superior to sacrifice through material offerings. O Arjuna, all actions, without exception, culminate in knowledge. Understand this knowledge by approaching a guru, spiritual master, with humility, honest inquiry, and service. The wise, who have realized the truth, will teach you that knowledge. When you have known this, O Arjuna, you will no longer fall into delusion. By this knowledge, you will see all beings in yourself and in me. Context: to encourage Arjuna to pursue this knowledge without doubt or hesitation, Lord Krishna explains its transformative power. Even if you are the most sinful of all sinners, by the boat of knowledge alone, you will cross over all sin. Just as a blazing fire reduces fuel to ashes, O Arjuna, so too does the fire of knowledge burn all actions to ashes. No purifier in this world is equal to knowledge. In due time, one who is perfected through yoga finds it within himself. The one who is full of faith, devoted to it, and has controlled the senses, he attains knowledge. Having attained knowledge, he quickly reaches supreme peace. But the ignorant, faithless, and doubting soul perishes. For the doubting person, there is neither happiness in this world nor in the next. He who has renounced actions through yoga, whose doubts have been destroyed by knowledge, and who is firmly situated in the self, is not bound by actions, O Arjuna. One must understand the nature of karma, action, the nature of akarma, inaction, and also the nature of vikarma, forbidden action, because the path of karma is indeed subtle and profound. Context: to invoke interest and devotion in the listener's heart, Lord Krishna declares the depth of karma, the truth of action, and the necessity of understanding it. Then, as promised, he begins to explain the essence of karma. He who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is truly wise among men. Such a person is a yogi and a perfect performer of all actions. Context: having emphasized the importance of perceiving inaction in action and vice versa, Lord Krishna now, through 5 verses and varied expressions, describes the detachment of perfected and practicing yogis who act with such wisdom. He whose every action is free from desire and selfish motive, and whose deeds are consumed in the fire of knowledge, such a great soul is called the sage even by the wise. He who has given up all attachment to actions and their fruits, who is free from dependency on the world, and who is ever content in the self. Though performing actions, he in fact does nothing at all. Context: these verses declare that a wise person, acting without ego, attachment, desire for results, and only for the welfare of the world, truly does not act, even while engaging in prescribed actions like sacrifice, charity, and austerity. Therefore, such a person is not bound by karma. This raises a doubt. What about the practitioner who does not perform scriptural duties like yajna, sacrifice, dana, charity, etc., and merely performs essential bodily functions like cleaning, bathing, and eating for survival? Would such a person incur sin? To remove this doubt, Lord Krishna says, "He whose mind and senses are completely controlled, and who has renounced all objects of enjoyment. Such a desireless person, even while engaged in bodily activities, does not incur sin." Context: these verses establish that enlightened beings, having attained the Supreme, are no longer obligated to perform or refrain from action. For seekers on the path of knowledge, their acceptance or renunciation of actions is scriptural, detached, and without selfishness. Therefore, whether they act or renounce, they remain free from bondage. Now, Lord Krishna shows that even a karma yogi who acts with a vision of inaction within action is also not bound. He who is free from envy, unaffected by the dualities of joy and sorrow, and remains steady in success and failure, that karma yogi, though acting, is not bound by actions. Context: now arises a question: if such actions do not cause bondage, is that their only value, or is there a higher significance? To this, Lord Krishna replies, "He who has completely renounced attachment, ego, and the false identity with the body, and whose mind constantly abides in knowledge of the Supreme, such a person, performing actions solely for the sake of yajna, sees all his actions fully dissolved." Context: the previous verse explains that when one performs actions for the sake of sacrifice, yajna, those actions dissolve. However, yajna doesn't only mean offering oblations into fire. One's duties according to one's vara, class, rama, stage of life, nature, and situation, all these are also considered yajna. Performing these duties selflessly for the sake of societal welfare is equivalent to offering in a sacrifice. To clarify this idea, Lord Krishna now, in the next 7 verses, describes various types of yajnas performed by different yogis as means to attain the Supreme. In the yajna where the offering, such as the spoon, the oblation, the ghee, the fire, and the performer, all are considered as Brahman, the Absolute. The fruit attained by such a yogi established in Brahmakumai is also nothing but Brahman. Context: having described the Brahmakumai Yajna, Lord Krishna now speaks of Divityagya, worship of deities, and self-realization yajna through the vision of non-duality. Some yogis perform sacrifice to gods alone, while others, through the yajna of realization, offer the self into the Supreme Self, recognizing the oneness of all existence. Context. Now, he describes the yajna of sense restraint and offering of sense objects. Some offer the functions of their senses, such as hearing and sight, into the fire of self-control, while others offer sound and other sense objects into the fire of the senses. Context. Now he describes the yajna of self-discipline and inner purification. Still others offer all the activities of their senses and life breaths into the fire of yoga, which is lit with the flame of knowledge and self-control. Context. After presenting meditation and inner discipline as forms of yajna, Lord Krishna now briefly describes 4 more types: yajnas of material offerings, austerity, yoga, and scriptural study. Some perform yajnas through material offerings, dravyajna, some through austerities, tapayajna, others through yogic disciplines, yogyajna, and still others, wise and disciplined, engage in the yajna of knowledge through self-study, sviya, and strict observances. Context. After this, Lord Krishna describes prima yajnas, sacrifices involving control of breath, in 2 verses and praises all such spiritual practitioners. Some yogis offer the outgoing breath into the incoming, and others the incoming into the outgoing. Still others, regulating their diet, control the life breaths and offer pra into pra, thereby mastering the flow of life energy. All these practitioners destroy sin through such yajnas and gain a deep understanding of sacrifice. Context. Now, having praised these spiritual practitioners, Lord Krishna explains the benefits of performing yajna and the consequences of neglecting it, thus emphasizing its importance. O Arjuna, best of the Kurus, those who partake of the nectar remaining from sacrifice attain the eternal supreme. But for those who do not perform sacrifice, even this world is joyless. How then can they attain joy in the next? In the same way, many more types of sacrifices, yajnas, have been described in detail in the Vedic scriptures. Know all of them as being performed through the actions of the mind, senses, and body. By understanding them in essence and performing them properly, you will become completely free from the bondage of karma. Context. In the previous section, Lord Krishna described various kinds of yajnas and also mentioned that many other yajnas are detailed in the Vedas and scriptures. Naturally, a question arises. Among these, which yajna is the greatest? To this, the Lord replies, O scorcher of enemies, Arjuna, the sacrifice of knowledge, Jnana-Yajna, is far superior to the sacrifice of material offerings, Dhyamya-Yajna, because all actions ultimately culminate in knowledge. Context. Having praised the Jnana-Yajna and the knowledge gained from it, Lord Krishna now, in 2 verses, instructs Arjuna on how to attain that knowledge, its path and result. Approach those who have realized the truth, the seers of the Supreme. Bow down to them humbly, serve them sincerely, and question them submissively and without deceit. The wise, who know the essence of reality, will impart that knowledge to you. Once you obtain this knowledge, you will no longer fall into delusion, and by that knowledge, you will come to see all living beings, first within your own self, and then within me, the Supreme Being, full of eternal bliss and consciousness. Context. Having explained the method and benefits of acquiring knowledge from enlightened teachers, Lord Krishna now highlights the glory and power of that knowledge. Even if you are the greatest of all sinners, you will cross over the ocean of sin through the boat of knowledge without any doubt. Context. No analogy can fully explain a spiritual truth, as it can only illustrate a small aspect of it. Hence, to further emphasize the greatness of knowledge, Lord Krishna gives another example. Just as a blazing fire reduces all fuel to ashes, so too does the fire of knowledge burn all actions to ashes, O Arjuna. Context: from verse 34 to this point, Lord Krishna has explained the means of acquiring knowledge through service, questioning, and contemplation under realized teachers. He also described its results and glory. A question may arise: is this knowledge only obtainable through the path of Yoga, the yoga of knowledge, or is there any other way to attain it? To answer this, Lord Krishna again glorifies knowledge and declares that even through Karma Yoga, this knowledge arises on its own. In this world, there is nothing as purifying as knowledge. One who is purified through Karma Yoga over time naturally finds this knowledge manifesting in the self. Context: having praised knowledge and shown its attainment through both Yoga and Karma Yoga, Lord Krishna now describes the qualification required to attain it, and the result, supreme peace. The one who is self-controlled, devoted, and full of faith attains knowledge, and having attained knowledge, he quickly reaches supreme peace, the peace of union with the divine. Context: after explaining that the faithful attain knowledge and supreme peace, Lord Krishna now condemns those who lack faith and discrimination. The person who is ignorant, devoid of faith, and filled with doubt is surely lost. For such a doubtful person, neither this world, nor the next, nor happiness exists. Context: having shown that doubt and lack of faith are obstacles to knowledge, Lord Krishna now encourages Arjuna to rise above doubt through discrimination, viveka, and to act with determination in Karma Yoga. O Arjuna, the one who has dedicated all actions to the Supreme through Karma Yoga, and who has destroyed all doubts with the sword of wisdom, such a self-controlled person is not bound by actions. Context: praising the Karma Yogi in this way, Lord Krishna now concludes the chapter by urging Arjuna to stand firm in Karma Yoga and prepare for action. Therefore, O descendant of birth, with the sword of discrimination and knowledge, cut off this doubt born of ignorance dwelling in your heart, and arise. Take your stand in Karma Yoga and prepare to fight. Om Tat Sat. Thus ends the 4th chapter of the Armad David Macron. Thus concludes the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita Jnana-Karma-Sannyasa Yoga. We hope you found this chapter insightful and inspiring. Don't forget to check out the other chapters of the Gita in our channel's playlist. For more such spiritual and uplifting content, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching this video. Hare Krishna.